Welcome to a present from the past.
The show for all your paranormal needs.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Present from the Past. I'm your host, Weldon, and this is my co-host,
Natosh.
All right.
As I said that with a froggy voice.
It's okay. You know, last episode I had a bunch of allergies and I was coughing up a storm and sneezing or whatever
Now
else.
it's my turn.
No, it's your turn.
So, hey, Weldon, I was thinking, have you ever eaten at a haunted restaurant before?
I'm not, well, I used to technically work at one that was supposedly haunted.
I know that I've gone to supposedly haunted restaurants before, and like there's one up in Seattle.
Okay.
So I had researched it, did all this, and I have family like my aunts and uncles and cousins that live up there, and so I told them when I went up to visit that I would love to go and visit this particular restaurant.
And hopefully have an experience.
And hopefully have an experience.
Right,
exactly.
right.
I mean, my family knows that, I'm a paranormal, I'm a sensitive, so they know all that. So anyway, so we go, and it's a beautiful place. I really liked it. It was old,
Right.
so I liked it. You could tell there was a lot of history. And as we were sitting there, my family, each one would, every 2 minutes or so, do you feel anything? Did you see anything? Did you feel anything? Did you see anything? And I'm like, no. But of course, I'm in anticipation of seeing something wonderful and grand and, spooky.
Of course.
Because, I want to prove to my family that this is haunted. And
Right.
of course, nothing happened. Nothing. Not even a feeling. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean...
So, needless to say, I was kind of disappointed. That's happened to me twice. I've been to another restaurant, supposedly haunted. Nothing.
Well, I mean, okay. It's sort of like when I worked at the restaurant bar that I worked at, I had employees found out that I do paranormal investigations, and they were like, oh, this happens. And actually, currently, the place I work at, I have people coming up to me telling me this and that. And I actually have one of the managers said that we pulled video footage of a sink turning on by itself in the middle of the night.
Really?
I'm like, okay, that might be interesting and watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
But since I've worked there, I haven't experienced anything. And then at the last place, I didn't experience anything that couldn't be explained.
Right.
And that's one of the other things with when you have a ghost story tied to a place, any little thing that happens, oh, that was paranormal. Oh, that was paranormal. Oh, that was paranormal.
Right,
it's
yes.
Like, we set up Christmas decorations at the last place, and one of the wreaths fell off the wall in the middle of the night. Now, oh, that's paranormal. It could have just fell off the wall. Whatever was holding it finally let loose. I mean,
right, yeah.
It doesn't have to be paranormal.
Right, yeah. But I was excited about this one because TAPS had gone and investigated it and found all kinds of, stuff on it. I mean, they had evidence and all that. So I was really excited, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. But then again, that is our work. We know they don't perform like circus performers. So, it's on their time.
I mean, I've been an investigator with ASIP now for 10 years. Has it been that long? I started in 2011, so it's been 10 years.
Yep, I think.
And you were there before me.
Yeah, I think I'm going on 12.
Okay.
11 or 12. I think I'm on 12.
And in those years, how many investigations have we gone on and absolutely nothing happens?
A lot.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing because, the homeowner or, who we're investigating, they're like, we've seen this, and all this activity. And we get there and there's nothing.
Yeah.
But then you have to think too, what is the time span? Is it every day? Is it,
right.
once a week, once a month? You know,
Does it only happen at a certain time
time.
of night? Is it, a certain time of year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many different things come into play. I've heard stories, some legends of things only happening on certain days because that was the day that supposedly this person was killed there or something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you'd hear it on that night at this time, and that would be the only time you ever hear it.
Right. Yeah.
And how many of those are true? I have no idea.
Right.
You know.
Right. And how many can be explained away?
Right. Right.
So, but I'm like this too. I don't want to discredit what they experienced because to them, it was what it was. To them, it was paranormal.
Yeah, and that's
know?
something I said in my video when I did Goatman's Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, not Goatman Bridge, Legacy Park, where I was talking about the Screaming Bridge and Cemetery Gate. There's a couple episodes where or the one episode where you couldn't make it, so I had to put something out. And my segue at the end of it, I had actually had an employee approach me, or a friend approached me and told me that their sibling had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then this happened, like a week later or whatever.
Right.
And they're asking me if that was paranormal related. And what I pretty much said was, take it for what it's worth. If
Right.
it meant something to you, hold on to it.
Yeah.
That's something special to you, that no matter if I was there or somebody else was there, if we could explain it away, it would just ruin the moment for you.
Right.
But if it meant something to you, hold on to it and cherish it.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to look off this way now.
So in the DFW area, have you heard of any restaurants that are haunted? Because I've only heard some, far away, like the Seattle area.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I've heard of,
no, I'm not kidding. No,
I
really don't know.
So many in DFW, especially if you go to the Cowtown area. There's one place called Cattleman Steakhouse.
Okay.
That actually has a photograph hanging up on their wall from what they caught from one of their security cameras.
Oh, wow.
There's other places that are similar, like bed and breakfasts and hotels in DFW that have so much going on.
But you got to make reservations for those. I want one I can go to.
Yeah.
And not make reservations and
then you
get a date and, all that. No, I have a date. I meant like find a date on the calendar to go.
Does Shane know that? But and then there's also like different bars in Cowtown area to where there was so much stuff going on that there was actually rules put in place at these bars to where no one was allowed to go down into the storage area by themselves.
Wow. Okay. Where are those places?
Cowtown.
In Cowtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fort Worth Stockyards.
But what's the name? I could walk down Cowtown. I'm not going to be shouting, who's haunted?
Well, yeah, and you're not going to get very far there either because,
right.
Unfortunately, there's very conservative mindset in that area of Fort Worth, so nobody really wants to announce that they're haunted, and because that's kind of
seeing then you have a different clientele, and all that.
Right.
Okay.
But I don't want to say a name because there's like 4 or 5 different bars right down there, and I can't remember the exact name off the top of my head.
Okay.
But there was another place that used to be there that was a spaghetti warehouse that's no longer there.
Okay.
And they said if you walked back into the kitchen, there was actually a story of the sprayer hose from the sink for washing dishes.
Yeah.
Turned on and started spraying whoever was walking in the door.
No way.
So, yeah, I mean...
I need to see video on that one. I'm not discounting anybody's thing, but seeing is believing with me sometimes.
And then there was also reports of outside of that area, there was the Swift Armor plant. It was a meat packing plant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there was it's brick road, so it's like cobblestone road. And they would hear horses galloping up on it, but there's no horses.
Wow. So to me, that would be like, oh my gosh, not residential.
Residual.
Residual.
There you go.
I saw the word, I couldn't say it.
Yeah,
Residual.
I got you.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah. And that's just. There was a ghost tour of the stockyards. I took that.
Oh, okay.
And that was like a date I took a long time ago, an anniversary date or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And that was something that we did. And we ended up staying at Miss Molly's down there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that was one of the couple of times that I stayed at Miss Molly's. And yeah, so.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
I know.
Can be. I know they've been wanting us to come out there, but because
it's right above a bar.
It's right above a bar, and you can't close. They don't close the bar down till real late, and there's just no way.
Yeah, it's
so
almost
contaminated.
It's almost impossible to cut out all outside sound, and
Right.
It's not just the bar that's downstairs, but there's literally about 5 bars within a block of that. So there's no telling what sounds you'd be able to pick up. So there's no way to do a conclusive investigation in order to rule out all, everything else. So
yeah. So that's in Cowtown. Is there any in Dallas area?
Dallas, I don't know as well as Fort Worth. I mean, the one I've heard of is the one I just started researching and looking up for this video.
Okay.
And that was Snuffers Restaurant and Bar.
Okay. I've heard of Snuffers. I've not been to one.
Yeah. I have not been either. Apparently they get rave reviews for their cheese fries, their burgers. They're supposedly, one of the better burger places. And I haven't had a chance to try it out. But
I haven't either, and I'm starving, and we're talking about restaurants. Great. I haven't eaten today.
Why?
I'm too busy, on the go.
I mean, I'm practically starving myself. I'm on a low carb, no carb diet.
I'm on no food right now. Running on empty.
Wow.
So tell me about the Snuffers.
Okay, so the story with Snuffers is that when the original owner bought the place, it used to be a pool hall called the Easy Parlor.
Okay, so like a biker bar?
I'm assuming because it's kind of in the lower Greenville area,
okay,
which is known for bars and stuff like that. And, I'm assuming back in the late 60s, early 70s when this parlor would be there, that it was probably a nice little hangout for a biker group or something.
Yeah.
The owner bought it, turned it into a Snuffers restaurant in the late 70s, I believe. And that's when interesting things started happening. And we've heard reports, or I've read reports, I've even seen videos on it where they talk to different employees. And some of the stuff that they're saying they're seeing is shadow figures. They're seeing cups levitate.
Levitate. Okay.
That's a new term. I just came up with it and copyrighted.
Well done, language.
Yeah. I could write a whole dictionary.
Me too. My son makes fun of me. He goes, "You're an English teacher, and yet you have your own vocabulary. Like, can you not?"
What's wrong with that?
That's what I tell him.
I mean, Shakespeare pretty much wrote his own language. Why can't we?
Why can't I?
Right.
Exactly. I'm going to tell him that next time. I didn't think of Shakespeare.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to do that.
But they got the glasses levitating and falling to the ground. They've seen the shadow figures. There's a mirror in there that no matter how many times they've tried to clean it, there's like a lip print, like lip prints, and a hand print that won't go away no matter how they try to clean it. There's been reports of footsteps being heard up and down the hallway, ashtrays being turned around. Like literally, they said the bartender would be, back in the day when bartenders were allowed to smoke, they'd put their cigarette down into an ashtray and turn around to do something and turn back around, and the ashtray would be turned around facing the other way. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's also been one of the managers was closing up at night. They turned off the kitchen light, got all the way up to the front door, turned back around, and the kitchen lights were flipped back on.
Nope, I'm out.
And that's what he did.
I would have walked. Okay, you're staying on. I'm out. I'm out.
That's exactly what he did. He turned around, locked the door, and left.
Especially if I'm alone.
Yeah.
Being alone, that's a whole different ballgame.
Now,
if I had a partner with me, it'd be different.
The other one that happened to a manager was he was in the safe room counting money, and he heard something. I can't remember if this is the one where he heard children laughing or the footsteps, and he just threw the money in the safe, locked the safe, and left.
Yep. I think I would have done the same thing.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of adventure? I'd turn on my camera, start recording. Say, right,
I might. You know, I would say I would leave, but I really don't think I would.
Right.
To be honest with you, I think
you're
I'd
drawn
be so
to it. You're drawn
curious,
to it.
like, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'd run, but...
I totally forgot about that. There was another restaurant that I worked at that nobody really thought it was. There was a couple of little hints there. But I actually stayed late one night with an employee, and we actually got a couple of EVPs while we were there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right, that's cool.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, here, sidetrack. What I'm known for, at Snuffers, and I know there's several different Snuffers restaurants, but this particular one is the one off of Greenville Avenue. This was, I believe, the first one.
And when this restaurant featured in like D Magazine?
Oh, it's been on D Magazine. It's been in the news. Another paranormal group, Dallas Paranormal, has been out to investigate it. I've even seen other non-named paranormal groups that do YouTube videos that have gone out and investigated and actually questioned the staff and everything while they were there. So,
oh, wow.
There's a lot.
We need to do that. Have a get together, and now that things are kind of calming down just a little bit,
right.
And do that. That would be fun.
And what she's referring to is we're still kind of coming out the end of the whole COVID, where things are just starting to kind of.
Yeah, but then we have that Omnicon or something.
Umbrella Corporation.
Oh, is it? What is that new variant called?
Omicron.
Omicron?
Yeah.
Was I right?
Yeah.
Oh, you were just messing with me.
Well, no, okay.
I'm like, what?
Have you ever seen Resident Evil?
I've seen one
movie or whatever.
One movie. I think it was the second one. I never saw
Okay, so the whole story behind Resident Evil is all this is based out of a company called the Umbrella Corporation that started a virus.
Oh.
So that's why I was making a reference to
okay.
Umbrella Corporation.
Okay, yeah.
Don't
My
sue me, don't hang me.
is coming out.
All right.
Yep.
So back to Snuffers. I find it interesting. I would love to go out there and do an actual investigation. Anytime I start looking at a restaurant, I start looking at what could be, or anytime I look at a haunting or a legend, I try to look at the backstory of where it could have possibly started from.
Right.
And with Snuffers, one of the first stories that kind of pops up, and it's kind of funny because there's different variations of the story. The first story that pops up was while it was called the Easy Parlor, there was a gentleman having a going away party, and a fight broke out, and he was stabbed to death during this party, and somehow fell down some steps and ended up dying right next to the men's room door, the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
And then the
I
other.
don't think that was the going away party they were expecting.
Right.
Sorry, but that's terrible. Terrible.
Well, yeah. Anytime groups get together to celebrate and something tragic happens, it's never good. Another story was you mentioned a biker pool hall or a biker bar back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
The one story was that there was a biker trying to get out of that lifestyle, and either his leaving was he had to get stabbed in order to get out, or the gang found out about him trying to leave and stabbed him and killed him in the same in that bar.
Okay, so different variations of
right. And I mean,
how
going
and
away,
why. Yeah.
and I mean, sort of like we were talking about perception. Okay, was it a going away party or was it his getting out of the club party? You know,
right? Exactly.
So,
yeah.
And then, did you pick up on any of the other stories, whatever, with Snuffers?
There was there was one incident though, and I thought this was kind of interesting. They were an employee, but I guess they were off work or having lunch or something, and there was had a straw in his drink, and his straw would move. And at first I'm thinking, okay, when the ice shifts,
right,
the straw will move. He said, it kept doing it. And it wasn't like a little bit like ice shifting. It was like truly turning, like
someone stirring
halfway,
the drink almost.
Yeah. And so he tried to, if I get this right, he tried to get it, okay, but the straw popped out instead.
Okay, yeah, I see.
So they said they moved to another booth.
Yeah, I actually started to read that story, and as soon as he said the straw was shifting, I was like, that's ice melting, and I just scrolled past it.
Right.
And I totally ignored the rest of it and missed it.
But then, and then I kept reading.
Right.
And
you're the teacher, you're supposed to.
And then he's like, then they said, as they were trying to reach it, because they were tired, see what it was, pick it up out of it, and it moved out of it, like moved out and popped out.
That's crazy. If something like that happened to me, I'd have to go.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to retract that. It did not pop out. What happened was, as they went to grab it, it moved out of his reach. So it like moved.
That's like, okay, say this is a straw, and I'm reaching for it, and it just goes.
Yeah, that's basically what they said it was doing.
You can have that water. I'm done with it.
Right. They moved. They moved to the other.
I don't know
to another booth.
I don't know what ghostly diseases you're carrying. I don't want to drink after you.
Right. Did you wash your hands?
Right.
Or was that your breath? Oh wait, I guess they don't have a breath if they're gone.
Who knows?
Yeah,
but
that's right. We don't know.
Well, also one of the other there's a couple of other stories that are tied to Snuffers, as far as where this entity could have come from, or if all of these entities are possibly haunting Snuffers. There was a woman that was stabbed to death in the alleyway, I think between Snuffers and the Granada Theater, but they said it was an alleyway, and that was the only building I could see that was right next to it.
Okay.
So, and maybe she haunts it a little bit. Who knows? The creepiest one, and it's always, anytime I do any investigation or anything and I hear children, it creeps me out.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious where the children laughter would come from, or the children's voices. Did it come from outside?
So supposedly, according to the owner of the Easy Parlor, that building was built on a child cemetery.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
How do people get away with that stuff?
I have no idea.
Like, that's sacred ground.
Well, what was it? There was
So it was just for children's cemetery?
I mean, there's a Lost Souls cemetery in Arlington, the Lost Children.
Right, but that was attached to a home.
Well, it was attached to.
I'm not talking about like someone's house. I'm talking about Like a women's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Okay. Unwed mothers at that time.
Yeah. What was on the land before that, you know? Was there an old church or something that was on the land and
true
happened
that.
to be a small cemetery attached to the church?
And it just so happened to be the children's section or something.
Right.
Or was there an orphanage? Or
yeah. And I think in order to find that out, we would have to almost get with ASAP's historian.
Yeah.
Just to do a little bit more background research on that and find that out.
Yeah, because they have all the ins and outs. Of
Yeah, they have access to all sorts of stuff.
Wow, that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe we can reach out to her, and if we do find anything, I can add a second video, or we can do a second video on it.
Yeah, because I definitely would like to know where the children's voices, come from.
I mean, that's one of the other investigations that we've done. I'm not going to name places, but it was over here in Fort Worth, and there was reports of children's laughter outside the back exit.
Mm-hmm.
And they said you would hear what sound like children playing right next to the exit door. But I don't recall any cemeteries or anything being in that area.
If we're talking about the same thing, there were 2 children that were there.
Okay.
Yeah, there were 2 that were picked up.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we're thinking about the same thing,
I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same place. I'll put it this way: they played Ghostbusters for us when we walked.
Yes,
okay.
that, and of course I missed it because I was getting batteries.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, so definitely interesting place. Definitely something I would love to check out.
Yeah, I would too. And hey, if you're listening and you've been to Snuffers, write in a comment and let us know.
Definitely. Or if you're an ex-employee and you want to share your experience, or you're a current employee and you want to share your experience about what you've experienced out there at Snuffers, leave a comment. Let us know. If you think it's all hooey, leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Let us know about it. I mean, I won't discredit something unless I've been there to investigate it myself. And then even then, it's kind of hard to discredit when you have so many stories telling similar stories, or so many different people telling similar stories of what happened.
Right.
I mean, there's been, and it's also kind of hard, like if we do an investigation, not always a spirit acts on command.
Right.
Sort of like the GM of Snuffers was talking about, he's been there for 25 years,
mm-hmm.
and he's only had 3 experiences in that 25 years.
Right. And I guess, as we're watching TV, if we watch Ghost Hunters or any kind of paranormal show, and that case reveal, and then they have like five pieces of evidence. What they don't tell you is that they've been there for a week or 2 investigating, and they've cut. There's many days they don't have anything, nothing at all. And one night they may have one thing, another night one thing, and then the rest nothing.
Right.
So, and then it's just cut and edited. So it seems like they found all this in that one night. And, and that's off-putting because in my head, I still want that experience so bad.
Now. Yeah.
Right now.
But, I mean, like you said, it's not they don't act on command.
No.
And it's not, they're not there for our pleasure. You know what I mean?
No, they're there for whatever their reason is.
Right.
So, and
if they want to let themselves know, they'll let themselves know. And if they don't, you best be sure you're not going to hear a peep out of them.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Most definitely. Well, this was definitely an interesting thing. I am definitely going to go check it out. And I think we should do it as a group.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
And find out if there's any other restaurants in the area that we can check out and investigate while we're out there and doing different stuff.
Yeah. That
would be fun.
Yeah, it would be great.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining us for this episode. If you like what you're hearing and like what you're seeing and everything, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the dislike button, leave us a comment, anything to let us know if you think we need to do something, change something up. I'm open to suggestions. I always
Yes.
love suggestions.
Yes.
Also, don't forget to visit our website, which is apresencefromthepast.com. It will be tagged below. Our Facebook page, which will also be tagged below. Also have an Instagram page for A Presence from the Past. Feel free to check us out on any of those. And until next time, I'm Weldon.
I'm Natasha.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.